takes the victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back. He's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna. Joshua Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of M&J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to VSPEED and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
It's time to go chase racing for the Saturday Night Racing League, and if you're just joining us from that Challenger Series race, you know better than anyone else that it really does come down to how you perform in these final races of the season. A dominant performance with 6 wins from Bailey Turner could mean nothing if he doesn't get it done here tonight. But live from Michigan International, it is the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors, and live on VSPEED. Welcome in, everybody. I am your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. All season long, we've been bringing you flag-to-flag coverage, and this race is going to be no different as we square off with our final 16. It's points day at its best, and these drivers with the reset are 28 points out. Connor, I know we've been recapping what Bailey Turner has put together, and it's been kind of a season first. 4 seasons here at Saturday Night Racing League, we've not seen a driver this dominant. But again, going back to how this regular season went, it really means nothing if he doesn't have a good night tonight.
Yeah, one bad race. He comes in tonight with a 22-point lead over Cabot, who got 6 bonus points for 2 wins, and then Adams, Wright, Donnie Kite, who got 1 win each. Everyone else 28 points behind him. He has a bad week, while majority of those drivers in the top 16 have a decent night. That lead is pretty much scrapped after our off week next week, before we go over to Iowa in 2 weeks' time. So one bad race, and he's right back in the thick of things, and it brings guys like Cost, Bacada, Shepard into a fight, not to mention the guys who have been fighting him all season long near the front, like Adam Cabot, Josh Adams, Jeff Wright, Ryan Carwell, guys like that. Chad Klinger, 7th in points. I mean, this is wide open. He doesn't even have to make a mistake. If someone else makes a mistake, it puts him in the wall, gets him wrecked. That's all it takes. Nothing is going to be easy for him. He has to be consistent like he has been all season long. The only times he's finished really outside the top 5 are when outside influences take the race out of his control. So he just has to try to fight all that off, and maybe he'll be in the points lead still by the time we get to the season finale in Miami.
Not only that, you get a look here with some of the guys that were outside of the season that are fast enough to win this race. And we're back to a count of around 40 cars, where last week at Bristol, we dwindled down closer to 30. Now we're at 39 this week. So a bad night is even worse if you end up at the tail end of this field. And like you said, there's a lot of variables. It could be beyond your control. You really have to perform and think outside the box, think outside of your race car, and think of what these other guys are going to do, because Michigan International is a racetrack where it is impossible to escape one another. It opened back in October of 1968, and this racetrack is very draft dependent. On top of that, you have a race car that is very aero dependent. To stick with these guys and get up to the top of the field, you're going to have to stay in the wake of one another, quite like Daytona or Talladega.
It is going to kind of be like a drafting race, but you're not going to be exactly as packed up as you will be at Daytona or Talladega. But the draft is so strong in these next-gen cars on iRacing. You're going to see big runs down the straightaway. Some drivers are going to stay in line, save their tires, work together a little bit. You'll see other drivers really pushing their stuff, trying to get to the front. You're going to see the rear ends wiggling a lot on exit, especially drivers get into the throttle too early, might slap the wall hard. That's where you might see the big one, but you will definitely see drivers get packed up. We should see things get maybe more spread out. We got to get to that green flag pit stop. It's always tough at this 2-mile racetrack, but that's all we really need, and we're usually in store for pretty darn good finishes at a track like this.
And our race analysis up on the screen here. 100 laps here today. The pit road speed limit at 55 miles per hour. 4 tire sets available in this next-gen stock car. 3 green-white checkers available. We had to use both of them over in the Challenger Series. So what are the odds that we use all 3 here tonight for Michigan? 80% fuel. And, of course, as always, on that iRacing fixed setup. But with that, it's time to take you trackside and get that grid up on the screen, starting on the pole here tonight with a 38.824. The 09 Sherman Williams of Chad Klinger is going to find the top spot in the first race of the chase. J.R. Shepard to his outside. About a 10th off, exactly a 10th off there. That's really what's going to separate these 2 cars. Joshua Banks will start in the 3rd position. Your points leader coming into tonight with his 6 wins will start in the 2nd row in the 4th position. 5th spot goes to Josh Adams, a winner here in Saturday Night Racing League. Number 6 is going to start in 5th. Joseph McWhorter, I think he's retired 12 times here to get to this race. He'll start in 6th position. Then back to 7th with Nick Hapiak. He also has come close to some victories. Juicy Spider in 7th position. Angelo Horonis will start in 8th, and rounding out the top 10, it's Andrew Telganoff in the number 3. Reggie Ortega rounding out the top 10.
Well, 16 drivers in this chase. You'll see a lot of them with those yellow SNRL banners on the top of their windshield. Case Lacatus, Kenny Kibbe, both in that category. They start 11th and 12th. Donnie Kite, Talladega winner, that got him some bonus points. He starts 13th. Carlisle, who's been fast all season, starts 14th. Ray Massey, not the season he really wanted. He starts in the 15th position, trying to make the most of it in the chase. Dakota Floyd, who I believe you said won the Challenger Series race tonight. He starts in that 16th position alongside Massey. Brian Chambliss did not make the chase, but he did win Atlanta on fuel mileage. We've seen a lot of fuel finishes at this track in real life. He starts 17th. Noah Mahalski starts in the 18th position. Logan Throwkel, the Mobile One, still got his throwback on, at least on my screen he does. He starts 19th. James Lehman, usually great at qualifying, not great on the long run. Maybe we see the opposite today. He did not get a good time down starting 20th.
21st goes to Caleb Wakely. Tough break for him in the Challenger Series. Let's see if he can rebound for 21st position. Max Koss, stellar day for him, a top 10 for the number 63. Then you have Jeff Wright, really deep in this field, 39.135. That's almost a full second back for the rest of this field. Elliott Butler in 24th, 25th, Rob Denton, Mark McFadden in 26th. 27th will go to Keith Shoemaker, Stephen Davis in 28th, 30th, row number 15 with Brandon Wallace, Julio Villalobos Jr. And we're starting to get into drivers that elected not to take a time with AJ Stravato, Matt Chinoski, and we'll continue to tick that grid away with Shoemaker on down as we get ready to go green here from Michigan. So here we go, chase race number 1. It's going to be a good one as Ben Lapter will round out the field. Live here tonight, Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. Live in racing from Michigan. Lap number 1 will go to the 09 of Klinger, but the 35 of Joshua Banks got to the inside here. And he has help from your points leader trying to push the 35 car past the 09. Your pole sitter does get a lap lead. He'll fall back to 3rd for the time being out of 2.
And you're going to see drivers maybe trying to adjust to the speeds into the corners. The draft is going to get these guys probably 5 miles an hour of extra pace into these corners. 197 for Banks in the turn number 3, and he doesn't even have draft in front of him. It's just a push that he's getting from behind. Chad Klinger hit, I believe, 198 possibly there. You're going to see speeds even higher than that at certain points. And you see Klinger trying to work the draft, trying to get into Joshua Banks' draft. As a lot of drivers trying to get single file back there, but you're going to see 2-3 lanes early on.
And another factor in this next generation stock car, they are constantly shifting gears around this racetrack, unlike what we saw in the Challenger Series, where once you get to 4th gear around 1.5 miles, this track 2 miles, you stay in the top gear. This car, you're going to shift up and down all the way through these corners to try to get that rotation. Mastering the art of that, Connor, can really make or break your line. It can make or break these tires. It can help you overall in the long run if you can figure out how to do that.
But with those, with shifting down to 4th in the corners, getting back up to 5th gear, what you invite is tire wear. You're really going to be putting a big strain on the rear tires doing that each and every lap. You might see a lot of drivers try to stay in 5th gear as much as possible just to keep the strain off the tires best they can. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some drivers inside the top 10 doing that. It looks like Josh Adams almost looked 3 wide. He's looking inside of Bailey Turner for that, I believe, 5th position, but you might see drivers try only 5th gear just to keep the tires in check.
And it is a cluster back here for the 15th position. There was Dakota Floyd on the outside. Kenny Kibbe moved down low. Kibbe gets a yellow playoff banner on his machine, as does Donnie Kite.
Shorts in the wall.
35 car breaks the front toe link.
That's his race over. That's Meatball. That's race over. Wow. Would have think he had to have had contact from the 09. dejected, disappointed.
What happened here with the 35 car?
I think him and Chad Klinger had contact into a corner. You could see the right front suspension completely broken. And it's just been that type of season for Joshua Banks. His race is over. J.R. Shepard's taking the lead. McWhorter into second. As everything's kind of sorted out since that. You see Chad Klinger right here getting a big draft. He's going to fake high. Banks blocks it. Klinger goes to the inside, and he just hit him. There's no sugarcoating that. 09 comes up into the left rear of Joshua Banks, and Banks overcorrects and puts it in the wall.
We'll watch it from another angle here on our blimp camera, see if we can get a better look at it.
Yeah, I don't see much Banks could do there.
One more time here.
Hello, Brandon Wallace.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why I jumped to Brandon Wallace, but
This was, I believe, the aftermath. That's how far Chad Klinger fell back. He had to go to the apron to not wreck himself. He went back to 9th, but you know, Chad Klinger's had a lot of speed this season. He's also had a lot of incidents this season, and I'm sure that one Banks will remember and will not be happy with the outcome.
watch it one more time from our TV3 camera.
This will be a decent view. Yeah, he just came up and tried to pinch Banks to the wall, side draft him into the corner, maybe try a slide job to get the clean air. He just misjudges it, pounds the left rear of the 35, and first driver out of this race is Joshua Banks from the lead to 39th.
J.R. Shepard will take over the top spot. Reggie Ortega. Would have thought the number 2 car wouldn't have a yellow front on that banner, but he is trying to chase down the 98 of J.R. Shepard with that playoff or chase berth in the number 98. He's looking stellar here tonight.
Yeah, he benefited from that. He got by all of that and got the race lead and clean air with it. Looks like things are pretty squarely around the 11th position right now, but things, I guess after the 09 did that, everyone was like, okay, let's settle down at the front just a little bit. So they've single filed out a lot at the front. You can see drivers trying to get in line. If you're not in that draft, you're getting freight trained like Noah Mahalski. And you can see everyone trying to get single file as these tires were out. Just having momentum is important. If we get the green flag pit stops, another thing that's going to be important is pitting with someone just to have that extra boost with the draft. I think if you pit alone, you might lose a lot of time if you don't time it right.
9 laps complete now as we cross that stripe, and 200 miles here today from Michigan to start out chase race number 1. And then we go on to our break there. We were talking about that in the Challenger Series. May is it's a weird time of the year. You're starting off summer, and I know everybody's getting ready to open up that pool. We still have racing that started all the way back in February. It's actually the end of January where this season started off, and you look over the course of the last 5 months, we've seen a dominant performance by this guy right here in the 24 car. He has this car figured out. Kind of had an advantage, and not only that, but the luck fell in his way. We have not seen a performance like this in Saturday Night Racing League history. Remember back in Season 2, Season 3, we had at least 8 winners at this point before we got to that chase format.
Yeah, we did have a lot of winners last season. Really, only Jeff Wright's Season 1 was the most dominant we had. I believe, if I remember from last weekend when I looked, he had 6 wins in that season overall. Bailey Turner, he has a good chase, he could blow that out of the water. Haley Butler had a slide into 3, but he saved it. But no doubt he's been the best driver in his car. But yes, he has had a decent amount of things go his way. If you look back to the beginning of this season, where, you know, Daytona's Daytona, 2-tire call at Texas, that was all him getting him the victory. The late yellow at Auto Club propelled him to his 3rd straight. Then Kern got the yellows to go his way a little bit to get his 4th straight win, which really gave him the lead that he never looked back on. And he's just been dominating ever since. He got back in the winner's circle in the last 3 races of the regular season, last 4 races of the regular season, New Hampshire and Bristol. It's just been that type of season, and he ain't looking back quite yet as he's going for the lead under J.R. Shepard.
Talked to Jeff Wright a little bit there after the broadcast in the Challenger Series, and Jeff knew that the 24 car was going to be tough to beat. It's one of his favorite racetracks as he finds the lead here on lap 13. Bailey Turner to the top spot. Tough luck there for the 35. Joshua Banks on pit road with that meatball flag. And maybe an opportunity here if we can find the 35 car. Maybe we can... Little problem there off of 4.
Bouncing off each other, I think trying to get by J.R. Shepard, or it looked like 3 wide gone wrong, I think, with Telganoff and Ortega, but you could tell how much tire wear there is. It may not seem like much because of how much the speeds are, and, you know, the tire wear and the fall off isn't as much as it was in older cars, but we're still falling off. We're about maybe half a second off in 15 laps right now, and you can feel it in the car with we're talking about those rear tires, wearing them out. If you wore them out, you're gonna have a rough time because you probably still have at least 20 laps left to get to your window right now, and I think J.R. Shepard's worn them off.
Well, we have an opportunity here as we're watching maybe 3 wide going into turns 1 and 2 with the 73. He'll think better of it. But I think we need to bring Joshua Banks up here. He is the title sponsor of the Saturday Night Racing League. Joshua Banks, I know it's tough as we have some problems down the backstretch, but I know it's tough to regain your composure. But ultimately, here we are, first race of the chase. Problems happen, but ultimately, I mean, you're here to participate, have a great time. You say it in every introduction to this race. It's just not the way you wanted to go tonight.
No, it wasn't. I'm just going to hold my tongue while we're fresh off of it, just because I don't have no words. I mean, it sucks. We're 5 laps in, we're getting turned. But, yeah, the racing here's been crazy all of a sudden coming out of 2 right here.
Yeah, it's
organized
chaos. Yeah, it's organized chaos here, Josh.
Yeah, everybody's, you know, the guys who save their stuff are pushing through, and the guys who use them up are falling back. So it just creates this kind of racing. Wish we were out there, though, man. I felt good for a little bit, but apparently the outside wall wanted my nose more than the clean air, so here we are.
Well, and Josh, we go back to the rest of this regular season. It's just luck not on your side for probably 75% of the year. No, for sure not. We've been in some weird mishaps, but I wouldn't even blame it on the car. I think it's just the situations we've been put in and shouldn't have probably been in, or just the way it is, you know. And so hopefully next season we can get it turned around and get some consistent finishes and such. I was happy to get Bristol a good finish last week, but just wish we kept that momentum going tonight. Oh, we're 17 laps into this thing, and Josh, I know that everyone here at Saturday Night Racing League is much appreciative of you coming out, donating your time, donating to help host this league, and everything that you've done as we look at almost 4 wide off of 2. Yeah, putting on a great show. I know that this stinks, but, you know, go ahead and shout out anybody that you want here, as we have a lot of racing left to go.
I'll make it quick, but we're 4 wide here, coming off of 4, I think, almost there. Okay, 3 wide, but because I'm watching it too as with y'all watch broadcasted. But anyway, shout out to M&J. Obviously, we'll make it quick, short and sweet. M&J, all our sponsors, JS Spider, Clark Print Shop, and all the other guys coming on board for the season and taking their time to do 29 graphics. Everybody there, I think 29. Because I'm just reading Reggie's card. I think that's one of them.
Yeah,
but,
you got it.
Okay, cool. So shout out to all the sponsors out there. I want to say one little hot take, but shout out to the admins except for one of them. So that's all I want to say about that.
Well, I know that sometimes in the heat of the moment, things are said, and next week probably will be all forgotten, and we'll be back to, you know, chilling after the race, just like always. Josh, we do thank you for keeping the composure, coming up here and talking to us.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Enjoy your rest of your race, fellas, and hopefully everybody put on a good show.
Sad Boys Motorsports driver and the number 35 machine done for the day.
I don't know how we got through that interview without another crash. I mean, did you see
it's chaos.
Did you see everyone?
I'm keeping my composure. It's still going on.
I really couldn't. What happened because of all that is it let some drivers get away. That's not going to be surprised. Bailey
Warden
Turner.
sideways. He's
No.
wrecking it.
Look,
Kenny's involved.
Oh, that's a big hit. No caution. He's still straight. No caution for it, but that's really our first chase driver with big damage. McWhorter's going to be damaged. He might be out of it, but Kenny Kibbe's the bigger story. He has huge damage to the right front. They're still wrecking in turns 1 and 2. Christopher Hodges, John Sinu's in the wall. He kept it straight. We're still going to be green. It looked like McWhorter got a little loose, tried to chase it up behind Floyd, but he just tapped the left rear of the 57 and it sent them sideways. There was absolutely nowhere for KB to go. Looks like Floyd might have hit the wall a little bit. McWhorter taps him a little bit. There's absolutely nowhere to go.
And what's the worst part is Kibbe's still out there on the racetrack with right front damage. The 73 has to come down pit road. I believe he has a meatball flag. We've stayed green.
I don't see a meatball flag, but I believe that right front took a big enough hit where he can't drive on it. I'm honestly shocked Kenny Kibbe's able to drive his car. John Sanu, he brought his car to pit lane as well. As what I was going to say before that happened is how spread out the front of the field got. It looks like Sanu and McWhorter are going to retire from this race, so they join McFadden and Banks in the garage area. But I was going to mention how Bailey Turner, no surprises, pulled away from the field. He's now got a 1.2 second lead, and what's important about that is that he's at a draft range. No one is getting really any part of a draft off of him, and if Angel Horonis is, it's very faint. You saw him gain maybe 1/100th of a second down into turn number 3, but Bailey Turner's out of that range, which is huge. It was pretty spread out. James Lehman got to that second position, but all the way from starting back in 20th position. Great charge, but now it looks like he's starting to fade a little bit. He lost that spot to Horonis, and then here comes Andy Telganoff. Chad Klinger trying to get back in the fight as well.
And we're riding on board with Angela Horonis. The 29 car, yellow banner on that machine. What's going on? You keep...
Chad Klinger slides, man. I don't know what to tell you. People...
You scared me.
They're scaring me. It's not my fault. Chad Klinger slid. He almost lost it. He lost about 2 positions. Jeff Wright's working his way through the field as well. He started, you didn't even mention that, he started unusually far back, 23rd. He's up to 6th. Lehman had a big wiggle. He almost hit Nick Hapiak.
This is almost a position, a lap here for Jeff Wright as he worked his way up to the top 5 from 23rd position. When I was mentioning earlier, I talked to Jeff Wright about how Bailey Turner is so good here. He also mentioned that because I said, don't let him go out there and win 7 of them. You know, this is not like Saturday Night Racing League where these guys have a dominant driver. It's always been diverse. It's always had multitudes of winners. It is so difficult to dominate. We got the 09 up in the wall here.
That Klinger at the wall. I was looking further back. Philip Brewer slapped the wall out of turn number 2, and I think Logan Threlkeld also did, so they both got right front damage. There's a lot popping off. This is a action track right now.
And caution free to lap 26 as Turner has a 1.3 second lead. This is looking back at the 26th position, but this is Kenny Kibbe, who was up in the top 10 a moment ago, and then another moment somewhere on this racetrack.
But then Lapter just booted Philip Brewer entering turn number 1. I don't think he meant to do it, but they're all stuck behind Kibbe, who's just really struggling. He's so much slower per lap at this rate. Just trying to hope. He's just hoping A, for yellow, and B, not to be the yellow, but he's right in the middle of everything going on in this battle for, what is this, 25th position. He's in a 3-wide battle he does not want to be a part of.
Kibbe stuck on the outside. There's the 31 on the bottom of Matt Shinosky. Ben Lapter in the middle. This racetrack driving a little bit weird here as well. We've seen the middle work here at Michigan. Before probably the 6th tire model, you wanted to run that middle. If you touch the bottom at all, you would spin out. Then it kind of went to that hybrid where you could ride the seam or maybe even later in the run, ride that bottom line. But now it's kind of like Texas, where you want to come in high on the entry in 1 and 2 and drive it down off the bottom, and then when you go through 3 and 4, if you're not down low, you're going to lose position.
Well, definitely what I'm seeing out of Turner. He's been running the middle most of the part of the track in 1 and 2. He almost spun into 3. It almost looked like he almost money shifted into turn number 3. That could have ended his race. He lost a ton of time there. I think he shifted down into 3rd or something. But I was gonna say he's been shifting. You know, he's been running middle 1 and 2 and bottom 3 and 4, and it's been working.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He did money shift. Wow, he is so fortunate that didn't end his race. That could have been it right there. That could have been his points lead gone right there. He lost half a second because of that.
You called it. I wouldn't have believed you had I not seen it. A money shift at 1.6 seconds ahead of the field.
In a sequential. he's either used sequential or paddle shifters. Either way, money shifted.
Maybe he saw Jeff Wright show up on that relative.
I don't know. He did just get the 2nd position under Hronis. He got by him. Well, not so fast. Hronis got a pretty good run off of 4. He's going to get back to his outside. And this is why it's so important Bailey Turner got away from everyone, because he's just able to ride. He doesn't have to worry about dirty air draft or anything like that. These guys, what is this, a 6-car battle for 2nd position? Ooh,
Car in the wall, James Lehman.
Yeah, he slapped it pretty good, but I don't see much damage. But all these crashes that haven't brought out the yellow, just look how spread out this field has gotten. It's 6 seconds back to Max Costa in 20th. It's even further back, 10 seconds to Bryce Shoemaker in 22nd.
I think the best way to show this is through our blimp camera. If you're watching cars just now entering 3, and then you have cars exiting turn 2. It's backstretch camera. Here's the leaders.
It is kind of like pack racing, but it looks like pack racing, after a pit stop where you have like all sorts of packs around the racetrack. Because you got the leader, you got the pack 2nd to, I don't know, maybe like 11th. It looks like we have some pit stops. Also on pit. No, Happy Act was just way slow on the racetrack, letting people by. But you got like 2nd to 15th in a pack, and then you got Elliott Butler in front of some drivers, Villalobos, Shoemaker, Lafters in the pack. It just looks like that type of race, just a spread out plate race right now.
It's back here in 32nd position. Logan Threlkeld in the number 12. All by his lonesome, with Keith Shoemaker about 4 or 5 tenths behind. You got Kenny Kibbe, who has that damage. Definitely a top 10 car. Currently running in 34th position, praying for a caution. The action continues, and this is where the Hornets' Nest, it's never stopped here, Connor. From, 5th place back to probably 12th. These guys have been racing really hard.
You're finally starting to see it maybe break up a little bit at the front. Chad Klinger's got the 2nd. He's kind of gotten away from Jeff Wright. Wright still got Angelo Hronis in behind him, but he's kind of got a gap on in front of him. You got Josh Adams trying to block Andy Telganoff down the back straightaway. So maybe some of these drivers pitting. We've got Mahalski up to 7th. Good run for the 0-3. He's in a battle for about the 8th position, actually. As Telganoff, Telganoff is pitting. There he comes.
So the number 3 Wheaties machine, and a lot of these drivers still in their throwback schemes.
Shanoski, Stephen Davis, they'll pit. This is pretty much on par with when you'd want to pit for a 2-stop.
Splitting in 3rd, yeah.
Yes. Bailey Turner can wait at least an extra lap if he wants to. I don't think he should. You don't really want to lose the lead to Chad Klinger, I wouldn't think. The fall off has grown to about 1.5 seconds at least. So we'll see how long he wants to stretch this. Looks like here comes James Lehman. Nope, not James Lehman. That is Mahalski pitting, the 23 of Ray Massey. Here comes Caleb Weekly, Bryce Shoemaker, Rob Denton. Definitely starting the flow of cars down to the pits. It looks like Mahalski has Mahalski looks to have sped or something. He does have a black flag. That is a shame. He was running in the 8th position before that. See, here comes Chad Klinger. 2nd place is going to come down the pit. You would think this brings Bailey Turner in next time. So Klinger's in, Floyd, now Lehman's in. Ortega, Chambliss, Max Cost, one of our chase drivers. Almost looks like a yellow flag stop. Ben Laughter might have missed pit entry there. I guess he did. He has a black flag. He blew pit entry. Clean car, but 2nd penalty of the day. Looks like Bailey Turner is going to immediately respond to Chad Klinger at the same time. He's going to bring it down the pit. Jeff Wright and Zaharonis follow him down.
And Ben Laughter just skipped his pit box entirely after that penalty, so he's still going to have to come back around this field and serve that. And it's a 40-second hold.
Well, then he's still going to have to pit for fuel and tires.
Yeah.
I don't see the advantage in doing that. Turner got in his box perfectly. He was really aggressive on pit entry as well, so I'm not sure if Chad Klinger is necessarily going to jump him that easily. Let's see who else comes in this time. Josh Adams, he's in a hornet's nest. This is still a 4-car battle for the lead. The 6 of Adams, the 06 of Happyack. He got Carwell 3rd, and then Travato was 4th. He peels off the pit this time. A few others, J.R. Shepard, who got the pole last week at Bristol, followed by Elliott Butler. Villalobos is in. We got some guys stretching this pretty long.
6 car on the outside as we come by for lap 38. When do you come down pit road? I don't think that you want to stretch it too much further. We saw that mistake in the Challenger Series with some of these guys not splitting the race into thirds. They ended up outside the top 10. And if that race would have went green all the way through, I don't think some of those guys would have ever recovered. You see Donnie Kite coming down pit road. Just ahead of him, the 06 of Happyack. Looks like Josh Adams going to stay out on the racetrack for at least one more lap as you see Chambliss to the outside.
Yeah, we'll see if this ends up getting him some track position at the end of the next run, but I'd be shocked if he can make it 50 laps on the tank in a shortened tank. I don't think that's going to be the goal here, but definitely trying to stretch it long, as is Christopher Hodges, Logan Threlkeld, to Case Lakatis, also staying out. Kenny Kibbe, I think, is also trying to stay out. Nope, he did pit, so really those 3 are the last ones staying out for as long as possible.
I think we're fuel saving here on the 12.
Is he out of fuel?
Maybe?
He's bringing it to pit lane. Oh, that thing is not slowing down. Oh, now it did, but I almost wonder if he ran it out of fuel. 39 laps. Sounds like he's still got some. I don't know why he was clutching in, but he's one of the last few drivers to pit, and he missed his box a little bit, so that's going to hurt. Josh Adams comes out of pit lane right behind him, but through all that, Bailey Turner kept the lead, so that is not a good sign for all the drivers chasing him. And Telganoff got the 2nd, but now Jeff Wright's moved up to 2nd.
So Jeff Wright in the 48 car, all the way back from 23rd position, is within a 2nd of Bailey Turner, and he has a I was going to say a 1-lap advantage, but he crossed the stripe. It is identical tires. They have an advantage to Andrew Toganoff that has fallen back to 3rd, but the 3 car has gained a lot of positions from this situation. He's up 6, 21 spots gained for Jeff Wright. And then the next biggest mover, James Lehman. We saw the 05 tag the wall a moment ago, but he's back into the top 5 as he moves past Chad Klinger.
I think what's important for Jeff Wright to try to do is just stay with Bailey Turner, staying in draft. You see Bailey Turner kind of trying to break it a little bit, going lower down the back and front, trying to keep this gap to 1 second, trying to keep him out of that range, because it becomes a much bigger threat if he can draft up to the rear bumper of the 24, because ever since he started pulling away, no one's been touching him so far. And they're kind of both going to end up pulling away a little bit here. Telganov not really a threat right now. Hronis and Lehman have some good speed right now, so the third position could be up for grabs soon enough. But Jeff Wright's just going to try to drive his hardest to try to stay with Bailey Turner in his draft, but maybe not as close as he needs to be to start getting aero effects on the front and, you know, pushing him tight or loose, whatever it may do to the balance.
So you're watching this battle back here for the 5th position. Angelo Hronis all over the back, or actually, it's 05 of James Lehman that is on the back bumper, Angelo Hronis. Then you have Chad Klinger, and that whole scuffle between him and the 35. So we had a car just shoot off the racetrack. That was
Mahalski. Saved it. I think he came up on Ray Massey quicker than he thought he would and almost binned it. He's a lap down because of his penalty on pit road. Ooh, he tried to turn under Massey and just didn't have the grip to do it.
That's this car. I mean, genuinely, this car is sometimes so unpredictable, aero dependent. When you get into a weird scenario like that where you're hanging off the left rear of a car in front of you, where a lot of the cars we race here on the iRacing service would probably get away with that move just fine. This car does not like disruptions in the air. It doesn't like disruptions in front of it or on these tires. And then saving this car. We saw how difficult it was for McWhorter earlier where he hit that wall. It goes against your instinct. You try to counter steer this car and it's so easy to overcorrect, and that's why he met that outside wall through the trioval.
Yeah, not much you can do once it gets sideways because it's just designed to kind of snap under you once that diffuser, once you don't have the right air under it, it just completely spins you around. So that's something that, plays into the factor every time we see a car get sideways. You can't hang on the right rear tire like you can in other cars. It's just how it is. And everyone's had to adapt to that this season. Some have adapted to trying to save this car better than others. Some have just decided, hey, let me spin it out. I know I'm not saving this. Let me not overcorrect, but it's a hard decision to make, split second, trying to save it against, trying to just let it spin out and not do any more damage. And that's a thing that a lot of drivers have had to make the decision on this season. We've seen a lot of that come into play, and we're seeing Jeff Wright come into play a little bit. That gap was a second. It's down to 0.7 of a second. You see it go up a little bit, and then it comes back down. That's how strong that draft is. And it's important that he's getting into Bailey Turner's draft because he's soon going to get a draft from Logan Threlkeld. So Wright needs to make up all the time he can.
Last time by a 39.589 to a 39.525. This time around, it's almost a full tenth, or over a full tenth faster for Jeff Wright.
Yep.
Now you got to wonder here, Connor, is the 24 of Turner seeing that relative? Maybe he's backing up these corners, maybe saving his stuff for when Jeff Wright does get here. And when you get into that dirty air, we talk about the bubble that this car creates. We were just talking about the air. This 48 gets to that rear end of the 24. It's a different aspect altogether because now he's dealing with dirty air through the corners. Turner can run his own line. He gets clear of these two lap cars, and it could be very difficult to pass him at all.
Well, it's definitely going to change the balance of the 48. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's going to make him probably loose exit more, and it's probably going to be harder to turn in on entry. So it's just the worst of both worlds, really. Once Jeff Wright gets even closer, I mean, he's inside the 4/10 range. Benjamin Richards lets the leaders bypass him, move coming to halfway. But yeah, he's probably going to have to try to move around a little bit. And at the same time, I do think Bailey Turner is just kind of saving his stuff. It's not the worst thing in the world for Turner to allow Jeff Wright to get into that dirty air. It's just going to wear all his tires that much more. So I don't think Jeff Wright can really do anything about it. You're catching a leader. With how strong the draft is, you got to stay with him. It's just kind of a product of this track and a product of this car.
Looking off the back of Logan Threlkeld, who is going to lose a lap. We've went clean and green, and we're right at the halfway mark. One more lap. I think you know what I'm about to say here, Connor Horn, and I know that I think we're ready for it right now. I think as soon as the 24 car comes out of turn 4, we're going to find those volume knobs, and we're going to get loud. So go ahead and find that remote control. As the 24 gets loose out of turn 4, Jeff Wright's all over the back bumper. We're going to postpone that for another lap because we have a battle for the lead.
I don't know what that was about. It looked like Turner just missed the bottom of the racetrack.
Was that another money shift?
I don't think he money shifted that time. I think he just hit the apron and it just shot him up the racetrack. Actually, you know what? I look back on it my own. I think you're right. Looking back on it, I think he did money shift, and now he's under attack.
Another mistake.
You're right. And now I think Jeff Wright is going to try to drive this in hard, maybe try to clear Bailey Turner, but he can't quite do it. Trying to wrap that bottom best he can, but they're going to be side by side out of turn number 4, slowing each other up. As they're going to almost down the front straightaway. Who leads the halfway mark? It's going to be Turner, but this is the most challenge he's seen since probably lap 15.
Mistake he had at the start of the race, he makes it again. That's 2 times. And 2 times the 24 is the 48. Goes by on the inside out of turn 2. It is door to door, 0.02 of a second down the backstretch.
They are driving hard. They want that clean air. They do not want to give it up. Wright stuffed it into turn number 3, trying to slide up in front of Turner, run him out of room. He's clear. He's going to do it. Turner had a wiggle. Jeff Wright to the point.
First lap led for the 48 car. Since we began this race 51 laps ago, coming by for lap 52, it is now officially that halfway mark. Let's do it. Let's get loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. Well, we're just going to have to cut it short. These guys aren't going to give up. This Get Loud, presented by FireStorm Racing. These guys side by side. Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, for about 6 laps now, have went door to door. Turner has leaned on the left side. Wright has leaned on the left side. Or it's back and forth every single lap. I don't even know what to say other than this is shades of what we saw in season 3.
And it just seems like Jeff Wright, because he's on the higher line, he's having to wear his right. He's having to drive out the right rear as much as you'll do in this next-gen car. We're talking about not driving off the right rear. He's really trying hard to do so right now. He's much better on entry, but he's driving it in harder. That's the only reason why. He loses a lot on exit, and he's really sliding that thing.
On a racetrack.
And they're running out of time, too, because they keep running 40.6s. You know, soon enough, they keep it up. Chad Klinger, Angelo Peronis, they will be there.
They're not looking at the relatives right now. They're looking out their sides.
Their sides, yeah. One's looking out the window net. The other one's looking out the right side window, and they will not give it up. Every time Wright gets that run off the corner, Bailey Turner pulls him back, uses that left rear, you know, quarter panel side draft, but he just can't do it enough to get enough of an advantage to just kind of fire it in there and clear the 48. This is the furthest alongside he's gotten past Jeff Wright in a while. He got the pass done. He's going to try to block him, but Jeff Wright's got the inside back. So now they've swapped after, what, 5 or 6 laps. They swapped back. Turner's going to chase him down the track. No, didn't really chase him down that hard. Now I think you see Jeff Wright try to drive it in hard, try to re-clear the 24. I just don't think he has the tire for it.
He's going to really push off the exit here of turn 2. And down the back straightaway, it looks like Turner has the advantage going into 3. But for how long this run has went on, it's back and forth. Again, a stab on the throttle. You can see Jeff Wright getting tight here.
Yeah, I think Jeff Wright just ran out of tire to really fight with, and now I think Bailey Turner's in the right position. I think he has the better tires, and I don't know if Jeff Wright can chase him back down on this set of tires. And I think Chad Klinger was hoping to do maybe 1-2 more laps of that because he's so close to being in the range of drafting. I just think he's 2 or 3 tenths out of it right now. But if that 48 starts fading here, which he really might because he slid hard, they might get there.
Or a little bit sideways. I think that was Logan Threlkeld in the number 12 that came off of turn 2 a little bit hot. You're watching side by side with James Lehman. Nick Hapiak on the bottom, Josh Adams. This is for the 6th position as they go by on the inside. Hapiak will hold that 6th spot as Adams goes by for 7th. And then you have Ray Massey back in 9th spot. Another close battle just outside of this. Go back here with Max Koss running behind Caleb Weekley in 18th.
One chase driver, Koss got back into the 16 driver chase. Just a little bit of a struggle tonight. He kind of qualified back there, gained some spots, but not quite the run you want if you want to challenge for that title. Just struggling a little bit.
Oh, car sideways. That's Chambliss back up on the racetrack.
And the caution's out. Where did he come from?
The apron somehow hit the grass. I think it sent him back up the racetrack.
That was like a skit or something. Goodness. He came out of nowhere. And that's finally the first caution of the race. And that's probably a yellow Turner and Wright probably didn't want to see. He only got Kite and Chambliss sideways. I guess Chambliss was just chasing this around the entire track. Yep, still doesn't have it.
I don't know what to call this.
Yeah.
That's steering a waterbed at 150 miles per hour.
It's like I don't know, it's like his response time is 5 seconds or something. But, with this next-gen car, we have those rack and pinion steering boxes. They're not very responsive. And at the same time, when you slide these tires, it probably takes you 2 or 3 laps to get them back, into temperature and to stop them from sliding. I think what he should have done is just try to get it straight and then just be very careful because there's so many bumps down there on that apron. He probably keeps trying to throttle up a little bit too much and keeps getting it sideways. It definitely contributed to this as everyone's going to bring it to pit road, no surprise, but this is a roller coaster you don't want to be on. Still, throttles it up. Didn't really throttle up there, just still didn't have it. And finally just locks it down because he almost came up and got Richards, Weekley, and Max Koss. But thankfully, it's a one-car incident after all that. And everyone gets a fresh set of tires, maybe for the final time. We'll see. And it's a race off pit road. And Jeff Wright wins the race off pit road. So that is huge for the 48. What in
Oh,
the
what
world was that?
happened right after I was hitting the replay button?
I was trying to take a drink and I almost choked. Laughter, Shoemaker, and Chambliss all hit on pit exit.
Well, we'll just stand by and see what happened here.
Chambliss got more damage from that than he did with the spin. You see the Bucky's number 9 back there. And it looks like Shoemaker's trying to force the middle. They hit a little bit there. Laughter comes over a little bit. Look at all the room to the left, and Chambliss isn't taking it a little bit, and they come together. And Chambliss got a pretty big dent on the right front fender from that. Pretty pushed in.
Chase race number 1 here from Michigan. Don't go anywhere on VSPEED. We have more coverage in the second half of this race in just a moment's time. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors. More coverage will continue right after this.
Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Back here live from Michigan as Jeff Wright was the command car. We've missed one lap on this restart. Chad Klinger back in second spot. James Lehman up to third. And Bailey Turner, who we've talked about making some mistakes in this race. Maybe the nerves getting to him with the success of this regular season. I don't know what the deal is, but the 24 has been a little bit off here tonight.
He's been fast, but you know, the 2 money shifts down to third, that could have cost him the race. It let Jeff Wright get close enough to lead some laps and almost take control of the race away. Misses, you know, I don't know if it was a bad pit stop or misses box, but loses the race off pit road. That allows Jeff Wright and Chad Klinger to work together on the restart. That gets them out 1-2, and now Bailey Turner in a little bit of a hole here back to fourth.
Jeff Wright and the number 48 will need some more laps as we see some side-by-side between Casey Lakatos, Reggie Ortega. Ortega had worked his way up into the top 3. There's Andrew Telganoff, who was also in that top 3 at one point in this race, currently running in the 8th position. And we've got some 3 wide. It's Juicy Spider fighting amongst themselves. Apiak's going to choose the high line here through 3 and 4.
Trying to run a little bit higher. Kite trying to get to the bottom. He's kind of been around that 15th position, it feels like, all night, trying to climb up on what could be the final run. Fuel could be tight. We've already seen these drivers, some of these drivers go near 40 laps, and you know, restarting this race with what was it, about 37 laps to go could be tight for a lot of drivers. And being a leader might not be the best thing in the world. You're, more on throttle time. These drivers in the draft kind of coast a little bit, maybe not 100% throttle down the straightaways. So that could be something to look at as well, but obviously that's all if we go green to the end.
Looking off the back of Jeff Wright, it was almost 3 wide again for the second position. As Chad Klinger and James Lehman fight for that second spot. Bailey Turner looked to the inside through 3 and 4. And he can't afford to do that too many times. Looks like the bottom not working like it was earlier in this race unless you have clean air.
I think everyone's just kind of driving a little bit harder right now, but when some drivers drive the tires off as there's a driver a little bit further down the track, that's happy act. He's going to lose some track position from that, but once drivers start wearing out the tires, which that's probably 10, 15 laps into this run, that's when we start to see the guys who are really good at the front start to drive away once again. As Lehman, we know he's fast short run. He's going for the race lead. He got to be outside of Jeff Wright, and now Bailey Turner's going to try to take advantage.
123 degrees on the racing surface here tonight, 78 in the ambient air, and that's kind of weird because we had 84 at Las Vegas in the Mojave Desert, and the track temperature only got up to 107 to start that race. It's 123. It is slick. If you don't believe it is difficult here tonight, just look at the way these guys can't get out of each other's way. They're sideways.
He crossed the seams a little bit in 3 and 4, got himself sideways. He got a big break to get off pit road first, and now he might be throwing it away. Klinger's going to try to offer him some bump drafting help, but he's in danger of losing 3-4 spots while Bailey Turner is back up to second with James Lehman in the lead.
And a pinch down here with the 3 and the 09 through 1 and 2. Togenhoff off of turn 2 will try to take over that position for 6th spot. Looks like Klinger a little bit loose in this mid-run. He pretty much heated these tires up, and if you were burning them up, it's over. As you see, the 05, he has speed here, especially in the short run. And you're starting to see Bailey Turner prevail back to the top.
Josh Adams, where did he come from? He's all of a sudden battling into the top 3 positions, trying to maybe take a win away for Bailey Turner, or at least a lead away, maybe get the second. Lehman trying to hold on the outside of Turner, got a little sideways. Turner tried to come up in front of him, he couldn't do it.
They almost made contact off the exit of turn 2, and Turner would hold it down there just enough to not get contact, but we're 3 wide for the lead. James Lehman on the outside, Turner in the middle, or bottom.
And he got both of them there. Lehman tried to wind up the high side. He couldn't quite do it. So let's put Adams a second. He's getting a bump draft. He's going to try to go for the lead. Turner blocked it. Wanted positioning on the outside. Now Adams has to dive hard to the bottom, trying to clear the 24. He threw in a slider. Turner backed up the corner, trying to get that run out of turn number 2 to get that lead back, while they both kind of pull away from 3rd and 4th. Lehman and Wright are side by side, and Turner couldn't quite get the run he needed out of 2, and he's going to settle back in behind Adams, and now he goes back to the bottom. It seems like no one knows that the bottom line's the way in 3 and 4. Everyone keeps giving it to Bailey Turner.
It'll work there for Josh Adams, though. He'll lead another time by 5 laps led now for the number 6. They're starting to pull away a little bit here for the rest of the field. I think this is one of those isolate and dominate situations. If the 24 really wants to get away from this field and then pull away like he had earlier, it was over a 1.5-second lead at one point until he made that mistake. And it shortened down after pit stops to a second. Jeff Wright had caught up to the 24 car, got it down to around 0.6, and then another mistake. You can't afford one here. This is too close.
The problem is it kind of becomes a game of who's going to go with you and who doesn't. Turner wants to pass Josh Adams, but he knows if he goes to the inside and he doesn't make that pass, Jeff Wright's going to jump to his outside and go right back by him. So he has to protect. He has to inch up the track a little bit higher just to protect his right rear quarter panel. You see everyone doing that on the entry to turn number 1 and turn number 3 just to prevent getting side drafted out of the way. Oh, crash! Ray Massey, AJ Stravato, Chad Klinger are all into the wall. Stravato saves it. Klinger and Massey up against the wall, caution out. This is interesting with everyone mostly having 2 tire sets left. Looked like Massey just got loose. And good job everyone to avoid. Massey gets the worst of this. So Massey
got loose on his own here.
Yeah, Klinger and Shervado were side by side. Yeah, just kind of lost it. I think Shervado maybe got netcode a little bit. Reggie Ortega did a great job avoiding that. But yeah, Massey just a little loose out of the corner, and he didn't have the room to really collect it without bouncing back up and getting Chad Klinger some damage there. So that's the second Chase driver I've seen with issues. Besides Kenny Kibbe, now Chad Klinger, who was running well, is going to have to come from the rear with a lot less time to get back through the field. As strategy, looks like everyone's going to pit this time.
And so Josh Adams will lead them down pit road on lap 75. This is 3/4 of the way through this race, and a race that was going to be divided by thirds. 4 tire sets available. I believe this is the 3rd tire set that's going to be used from these drivers, as the number 6 machine will find his way to his pit stall, and it's going to be a matter of who can win the battle off of this pit road. Jeff Wright out of his stall. Left side still up on these 2 cars. Can Jeff Wright maintain this momentum and pass 2 of them? He will.
He has the perfect pit stall, apparently. Adams just got Turner, so now Turner would be 3rd, then Hronis and Stravado. So Stravado, a little fortunate, didn't seem to get much damage out of that. And he's able to come out in that 5th position.
That is incredible. Jeff Wright has made a lot of passes on pit road. Bryce Shoemaker will stay out on the racetrack. We'll take you to a quick commercial break. You are watching the Saturday Night Racing League presented by M&J Distributors, Matco Tools. More coverage continues on VSPEED right after this. For the first time this season, the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, is underway at Daytona.
It's killing this line because McWhorter can't complete the pass, and he's sideways off the corner, and he held on to it. Oh, Shadow gets turned into turn number 3. McWhorter, Klinger, all in the outside wall. Caution is out. We're going to get a late race restart. Joshua Banks coming out of turn number 4, win number 6 in Saturday Night Racing League. First of the season for the 35. He gets it done in Dover.
The new winner this season, the 09 of Chad Klinger, off of turn 4. He will be victorious tonight at Phoenix. But the 73 of Joseph McWhorter is going to be your season 2 champion. Here he comes off of turns 3 and 4. It sounds like he saved enough fuel. Seth Hatchell, with an excellent strategy, is going to win here tonight at Kentucky Speedway.
Banks takes him 3 wide down the backstretch for the lead. Look at this, 3 wide again. The top 3 still 3 wide for the lead. Banks on the inside, right in the middle, Kevin to the outside.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind. This is my prime. Let me tell him one time, I've been on the grind.
Pull those belts tight. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League, only on VSPEED.
Welcome back here to Michigan as we see the restart at lap 78. Sideways for the 6 of Adams. They're crashing in the background. 33's around.
No yellow yet. Telganoff and Stravado got the worst of it. Carwow still sliding. He saved it.
Cars everywhere down the back straightaway.
They somehow all kept it straight. Jeff Wright got the lead out of it.
How did they keep it green?
Oh, Turner got a little sideways. Another car in the wall out of 4. It's Rob Denton. He keeps it straight. Kind of thought something would happen with a driver staying out, and Stravado got the short end of the stick, and Bailey Turner could not get the lead from Jeff Wright.
Here's the restart.
No, it's going to be a stack about the corner when he got a car on old tires. They're trying to inch under him. Shoemaker hits the wall. Stravado has to react. Aronis checked up for Turner, and then Telganoff hit him. And then Stravado had nowhere to go because of it. They're crashing on the front straightaway live. Telganoff's in the wall along with Keith Shoemaker. And now they are both slow on the front stretch.
That was Denton that got into the wall, and this is not the live that we just saw. That was actually Denton. We'll put this back and we'll hit the replay button again.
He hit it on his own there.
Organoff's going to come out of 4. This is out of 2.
This is now live sliding. Now Hronis just spun live. Now the caution is out. Can everyone avoid him? Ooh, looks like they will. That was eventful.
Well, I'm trying to use the replay button correctly, but...
Well, you are. It's not your fault. Oh, look out, Telganoff. They keep wrecking.
All right. Well, you know what? This is the best I can do.
Donnie Kite kind of booted him. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there or what, but Kite isn't the one to do that. But definitely got into the left rear of Angelo Hronis. And that's a shame for Hronis, who was also having a very good run all day. Another chase driver having issues. He doesn't have damage, but that's going to be tough to get all that track position back in a short amount of time. It's a tight race with Lakatos. Kind of looks bumper. Kind of came up. It almost like, I don't know, maybe he's trying to push him, and Hronis starts weaving a little bit, and it throws Kite off. Yeah, just kind of a bad deal for Hronis. Nothing really, kind of maybe a racing deal. Maybe there's something I don't know about Hronis and Kite, but I don't think there was intent there. It just looked like a miscommunication, and Hronis got the short end of the stick. But wow, that kicked off, and somehow through all that, I believe Hronis was the only chase driver who got bit hard in that.
And we're seeing some cars all Juicy Spider on the hood, and then from around 16th on back, everyone following suit. Some strategy calls, maybe the last tire sets available for the 6, 26, and 06.
Yeah, that's surprising. Pitting from 4th after how many laps did we get there? 4? I don't know. I don't know if there's enough wear on the tires for that to matter to go all the way back there. You got Adams and Kite pit, obviously Happy Axe, so like you said, the Juicy Spider guys all pit. And then pretty much everyone behind Stefan Davis in 19th came down the pit lane. I don't know if I like that call. Getting back in all that traffic for 4-lap fresher tires. I don't know.
Well, with 15 to go, some of these guys that have stayed out for 6 laps under green, I know it was a rough 6 laps that we just watched there. Complete chaos. I hit the replay button, I think, 4 times before we actually had a caution between the 3-car getting involved. Bryce Shoemaker there. They had stayed out on that restart. Stravano had problems. Then Toganov had problems again.
Yeah, Keith Shoemaker involved.
Yeah, there was so much going on there with Shoemaker. And then you had on top of that Angela Horonis just getting turned. I genuinely believe Donnie Kite didn't do that intentionally, but just a miscommunication or a misalignment there on the bumpers. 4 different things happened in a matter of probably, 120 seconds?
Something like that, maybe 160, somewhere around there. I mean, it was crazy. And, it all stemmed from, a little stack up on the restart, really getting everyone all out of whack, really, with the checkup out of 2, and then everything kind of kicked off after that. It's really jumbled the top 10 with pit strategy and some drivers going out of the race. He got Wright starting on the bottom with Bailey Turner. You got Reggie Ortega up to the 3rd position. I believe he's an admin and probably going to try to help Jeff Wright out on this restart. You got Dakota Floyd all the way up to the 4th position. I believe won the Challenger race. Now he's trying to win both races on the same night, which still hasn't been done. If anyone's going to do it, it's been him because he's been pretty darn good in that series. But this is maybe the biggest opportunity he's had all season to do it. You got Casey Lakatos in 5th, who's the 4th highest running chase driver behind the top 2 plus Floyd. Lehman 6th, then Villalobos 7th, J.R. Shepard's up to 8th, and then Butler. And Noah Mahalski's 10th. Didn't we see him go a lap down because of a pit road penalty? He's back up into the top 10.
I can throw back to the Challenger Series race where he had to do a pass-through penalty, and they raced that all the way to halfway before they had any problems. He was praying for a caution in the last one. He's got it again here. And we're going to have just over 15 laps to go. 16 when we hit that line at lap 85. Jeff Wright, Bailey Turner, the story of the day. These two have battled before. They're going to do it again here in the first race of the chase. Wheel spin on the outside. Dakota Floyd's going to check up the high line with James Lehman just behind.
That really hurt Turner. He got no push whatsoever from the 57. That allows Jeff Wright and Reggie Ortega to clear for 24.
I'm interested to see, though, for the 6, the 06, and the 26, if they can get back up here. If we run this out green, is it that much of an advantage to have 4 fresh tires after these guys have only ran about 500 green? It is 3 wide here through 3 and 4. J.R. Shepard sideways.
They are almost 4 wide. They're trying to go any way possible to get back to the front. You see Bailey Turner, he's pushing really hard, trying to get Ortega's right rear. I think if he's trying to work together with Jeff Wright, you want to protect your right rear and force Bailey Turner low, but that wasn't really the case there, as he is not looking to pass the 48 at all right now, and Turner's going to dive hard to the inside. Maybe try to take it by surprise, trying to clear him. He is clear up.
And he almost gets a 2 for 1.
That was a perfectly executed pass. Now Ortega's got to try to pass the 24 back. There's almost contact. Turner trying to shove the 48 clear. Ortega maybe trying to box him in. And where does Casey Lakatos go in all this? He's 4th.
Wherever there's clean air, that's what you have to find as Reggie Ortega holds the inside. Jeff Wright will jump down to the bottom off a 2.
Lakatos is pushing the 2 car. They're not going with Bailey Turner. Oh, they almost made contact. All 3 of them. Turner, Floyd, and Lakatos. That could have been the crash there. Shepard's loose on the bottom. I think Max Koss is in the wall back there, but he kept it straight. But it gave the 48 a little bit of space at least. But just being in the draft is still so important. Just look at the run that gets built up. Lakatos has a run, and Ortega couldn't block it.
And protecting the inside. Turner definitely wanted to take that momentum to the bottom. I could tell he had a big run there out of 4, but he can't get to the inside. Jeff Wright's going to dive all the way to the bottom now on lap 88. I think a little defense here.
Trying to work the draft, trying to work the lanes, trying to keep them side by side as much as possible. The more he can keep them side by side, the better advantage he can get. And, the more they maybe wear their tires out, both trying to side draft each other and race each other side by side. And Lakatos, once again, gonna push Reggie Ortega, trying to push the 2 by and maybe get himself by as Dakota Floyd continuously goes to the high side, trying to get the Bailey Turner.
On board with the 57 of Dakota Floyd.
Oh, Ortega's loose. Now Licata's back to the high side. And that's going to hurt Ortega big time. That gives Turner back to the second position. Finally clear as, oh, contact in the back. Max Cost and Donnie Kite made a little bit of contact. They kept it straight, though.
Oh, Stephen Davis, hold on to it.
Wow.
A little too much yingling.
We'll see what Jeff Wright can do. Coming to 10 to go next time by. He got a gap on Bailey Turner, but you know Turner's going to chase him back down. You see Jeff Wright trying to break that draft. He does not want Bailey Turner getting a big run on him, and Turner has no pressure from Licata in third right now.
Ten laps to go, crossing the stripe. Jeff Wright uses every inch of the exit of 4.
You can tell he is giving it 110%. Look at the weaving. This is the Brickyard 400. This is Indy 500. You do this in IndyCar. We're doing it in NASCAR to the extreme, weaving back and forth, up and down, side to side. But is it worth it? Well, Jared Shepard, I think, sideways, kept it straight. See him getting back in line. Might not have been Shepard, might have been Hodges.
Say Jared Shepard there to the inside for a 5th. He's gonna get tight.
Oh,
he's sideways.
Lehman gave him a break. He lifted just a little bit. Meanwhile, he's not close enough to pass yet, but he got a little closer to Jeff Wright. Almost bumper to bumper.
He's there. I think if Turner can get to the inside in 3, he's got it.
I think he needs to try to make the pass high, but I don't think Jeff Wright's going to allow that to happen. He's got to force him low, try to pinch him down.
He's going to get to the inside. Here he goes.
He just got the better tires right now. Oh, right hit the wall. He's got to side draft him here. Did he get his right rear in time? No, he's not really side drafting him hard enough. Turner made the pass. Big block.
Right, we'll try the high line through 1 and 2.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to work. I think he's got to throw something at the wall now. Turner's going to side draft.
All the way to the white line.
Jeff Wright might have to throw a Hail Mary. He did throw a Hail Mary. He sent it in there. He forced Turner up the track, got him a little arrow loose, got back to the inside. Coming to 6 to go. Look at the run Casey Licata has.
Back, move. I can't believe it. But Jeff Wright's going to get the draft help from the 50. Out of pocket from the 48.
And all of a sudden, that brings everyone back into it. These 3 kind of got away. Now Dakota Floyd's back in the fight. They might be right to the lead. Turner and Licata's made contact. Jeff Wright sideways. He saved it. Floyd with a big push to the 50. Turner trying to get to the inside. Someone almost into the inside wall in the background. Never mind. They kept it straight. We got 7-8 cars under a blanket trying to win the first race in the chase. And it's not over yet. Chad Klinger's all the way back to 4th. Where did he come from? Big run on the outside. Big run. Chad Klinger 3 wide for 2nd.
And ascend to 1 and 2.
And he cleared them both. The 50 backs out.
I think he's going to clear 3 of them.
He might have fresh tires as well. That might be something we got to look at. The 3 wide middle. Can this work? Klinger has the tires.
It's going to work for Turner for now, but they're going to pinch.
Klinger didn't go to the bottom, and now there's no room for either driver. Who wins out in this battle? Licata's going to go with Jeff Wright again. The advantage goes to the 48 here. Where does Reggie Ortega go? He doesn't dare 4 wide, does he? They're making contact, 24 and 48. We're 3 by 3 into turn number 1. There's 5 laps to go. Klinger sent it in again, shoved the 24 up the track again.
Jeff Wright's going to benefit from this if he can keep it off the wall.
Not quite clear. They're going to stay 3 wide.
5 to go.
What does Klinger do this time? He missed the bottom last time. We'll see what he does again. He went to the middle again. There's no room for it again. That's going to hurt Jeff Wright. Push him up the track. Jeff Wright fades back. Oh, big crash. Elliott Butler hard into the wall. Shinosky sliding. We're still green. No one spun. They're side by side for the lead. Bailey Turner and Chad Klinger. That will also not be a caution. Ortega's going to shove the 09 into turn number 1. Oh, he's going to hit Bailey Turner up the track. Dakota Floyd shoving Jeff Wright up the racetrack. Ortega to second. What is happening? He's loose.
4 laps to go from Auto Club, and Chad Klinger has the lead.
He got fresh tires, and now I don't know if there's anywhere. He got a gap that he needed. I don't know if there's anything the 24 can do. The 09 has the fresher tires. 3 wide for third.
4 wide.
I don't think this works. Something's got to give. 3 laps to go.
I think J.R. Shepard was the give right there.
No, he's going back 4 wide.
Oh, he's going to go back to it. Oh, boy.
It's in the bottom. Villalobos trying to force it. Couldn't do it. They got back in line that time. But you notice, finally, those Juicy Spider cars are making some leeway into the top 15. But Chad Klinger blew them all out of the water.
2 to go at the line for Chad Klinger. In a car that was racing top 3 at the start of this race, had some damage, got caught up in an incident earlier.
But
and he's back.
You know we haven't talked about a lot this race? Look who's in third. Ryan Carlisle got the third through all that. He was nowhere. He really wasn't running the way he has all season, and he's into the top 3. And I don't think...
No, he does not have a tire advantage.
Oh, slider. That's Adams. He saved it.
Villalobos as well.
Jeff Wright's going for 4th on Ortega. I love to hear the interview if we get an interview from Turner after this race. I can only imagine what's going to be said. But Chad Klinger, all he's looking for is the white flag on fresh tires.
He's going to get it.
And I believe he's going to get it. 1 more to go.
1 more time around in chase race number 1 for the Cup Series. And Chad Klinger, who won last season in that chase format, he's going to get another victory if he can hold on to it for 2 more miles. The 09 Sherwin-Williams, very sideways off of turn 2. He holds on to it. It's not over yet, Chad. You got 2 more corners to go. Jeff Wright with a block down the backstretch.
Oh, crash.
Down.
Mahalski and Shepard.
It's over. Chad Klinger is going to claim chase race number 1 from Michigan. The 09 Sherwin-Williams Chevrolet Camaro is victorious.
Wow. That was an unbelievable final run. And I don't think Bailey Turner was very happy with how Chad Klinger raced him. But Klinger strikes first in the chase.
Bailey Turner and Ryan Carlisle, the top 3. Turner clawed and scrapped to maintain this top spot. And even so, coming in here with a 28-point lead on most of this field. He had 22 points, I believe, to the closest driver. He's still going to extend that lead, as Chad Klinger was one of those drivers that had not won yet this season. But there is a yellow banner on that 09.
That is pretty important. He won't gain much on Turner finishing second. But anytime you can beat the dominant car all season is a big deal. He will gain. And if he could carry this momentum, it's going to be a fun, really, really fun last 4 races.
Congratulations to Chad Klinger on his first win of the season. Post-race interviews with your top 3 and those final race results coming up in just a moment. You are watching the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series chase race number 1. We're reformatting everything we know here in this next generation stock car. More coverage here on VSPEED in just a moment.
is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs.
From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items.
Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Drivers, start your engines! And for the first time this season, the Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, is underway at Daytona.
Sorry for the wait. Didn't think I'd come up, y'all just need a little faith. I've been patient, just waiting.
It's killing this line because McWhorter can't complete the pass, and he's sideways off the corner, and he held on to it. Oh, Otto gets turned into turn number 3. McWhorter, Klinger, all in the outside wall. Caution is out. We're going to get a late race restart. Joshua Banks coming out of turn number 4, win number 6 in Saturday Night Racing League, first of the season for the 35. He gets it done in Dover.
The new winner this season, the 09 of Chad Klinger, off of turn 4. He will be victorious tonight at Phoenix. But the 73 of Joseph McWhorter is going to be your season 2 champion. Here he comes off of turns 3 and 4. It sounds like he saved enough fuel. Seth Hatchell, with an excellent strategy, is going to win here tonight at Kentucky Speedway.
Banks takes him 3 wide down the backstretch for the lead. Look at this, 3 wide again. The top 3 still 3 wide for the lead. Banks on the inside, right in the middle, Kevin on the outside.
I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
Let me tell them one time, I've been on the grind. This is my prime. Let me tell them one time, I've been on the grind.
Pull those belts tight. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League, only on VSPEED.
Back here live from Michigan, and I gotta say, one of the most memorable moments that you saw in that S&R promo just now, I think it was topped here tonight with what we saw in the first chase race of season number 4. Chad Klinger is going to be victorious after coming down pit road, repairing some damage, and having about 7 or 8 lap fresher tires than the rest of this field. He clawed his way from 21st position on that last restart with 15 to go. finds his way to victory lane here tonight. How about that for the 09? He's going to make some gains. Final race results with 19 lead changes and 3 cautions. You said it didn't race like a super speedway, Connor, but that counter at the top of that screen kind of says otherwise. It was a chaotic race, and we saw a little bit of everything here tonight. Bailey Turner, your points leader, coming in here. He's going to finish in second and just salvage the day. I mean, that guy clawed his way to stay in that top 3. Ryan Carwile, who we barely mentioned here tonight, he was a top 10 car for most of the night, but man, top 3 for him. Reggie Ortega is going to pull home a solid top 5. And then Jeff Wright, 5th position. Oh, chaos. Nick Hapiak, the first of the Juicy Spider cars that came down pit road, he's going to finish in 6th. Casey Lacanis back to 7th. Dakota Floyd, who leaned on every car around him on that final restart, he will finish in 8th. Josh Adams, the next Juicy Spider car, in 9th. And James Lehman, starting 20th, the 05, is going to round out your top 10.
I think Josh Adams will be another one disappointed. He pit from 4th. He only ended up 9th. Angelo Horonis, I don't believe he took tires on that final run, but he recovered well, got to 11th position on a pretty poor set of tires after the spin. Christopher Hodges, a good 12th place for him. Julio Villalobos Jr., 13th. J.R. Shepard, who I believe was the one who had contact with Mahalski on the white flag lap. He ends up getting a, I believe, 14th place finish out of it. Austin Belke, 15th. He started 38th. Good run for the 89.
Yeah.
Ryan Chambliss, who we saw, I wouldn't call it drifting, but he was definitely sliding. He got 16th. Max Cost kind of finished where he ran, 17th. Caleb Weekly, same thing, 18th. Donnie Kite, he is another one who took tires on that final caution. It didn't really work for him. Only got the 19th. And Stefan Davis in the 60, finishing in the 20th position.
21st spot is going to go to Brandon Wallace. Ray Massey in the 23 picked up some damage there midway through the race. He'll finish 22nd. 23rd, Logan Threlkeld after starting 19th. Matt Shinoski, 24th. Kenny Kibbe, tough break for him, got damaged in the early part of this race. He was part of that first caution. Well, lack thereof. And we had, 3 or 4 of those moments earlier in this race, Connor. At the start of this race, there was probably 3 different moments where a yellow could have came out and guys got damaged and fell out of this field. Noah Mahalski, another one of those cars involved in that as well. Elliott Butler falls back. He was a car that fell back because of a lack of caution on his incident. Andrew Toganoff also involved in something like that. Ben Lapter, Benjamin Richards, a little off pace here tonight. He'll finish 30th. And we have 9 more cars to talk about.
And Bryce Shoemaker, we saw him stay out on the one caution. It didn't end up working for him. He finished 31st. And Keith Shoemaker, kind of the same fate. Not too long after he crashed, but he didn't finish the race closely as Shoemaker did. So he 31st, 32nd. AJ Stravato, but 33 finishes 33rd. And that won't tell the whole story. He had a better run than that. He got caught up in that crash out of turn 2. Rob Denton also caught up in a crash on that wild, 4-lap restart we had. 34th for him. Philip Brewer out of the race earlier, 35th. Joseph McWhorter, we saw him hit the wall at turn number 4 with Kenny Kibbe, 36th for him. John Sanu, 37th. Mark McFadden, 38th. And the other big heartbreak of the night, Joshua Banks, didn't even make it 3 laps. Had contact with 09, and he rounds out this 39-car field.
And, AJ Stravato had a victory earlier this season. Another one of those cars like Chambliss that did not make this chase format. Joshua Banks, who had the success last season, getting that victory overall on the championship. Early exit for him today. And then it was the race winner that he had contact with. So we saw a variety of everything here tonight. Chat trying to keep up with this. And, Adam Bacon out there in the chat saying this is wild. I agree. I'm pretty certain that there's going to be a highlight reel for tonight because it was fantastic to watch from our perspective. Every single second of those last 15 laps was phenomenal. But with that, it's time to bring up Ryan Carwile, our 3rd place finisher in the number 71. Ryan Carwile started 14th. You bring the 71 up there. You had equal tires. You weren't on the same advantage as some of these guys that were advancing positions. You just benefited from the fact that these guys couldn't sort out who wanted to be in the top 5.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. When I saw everybody behind me pit, I was like, oh man, that was really stupid. But yeah, I guess it was only like 4 or 5 laps, and I guess everybody wanted to battle and slow each other down, so I managed to squeak by on the inside.
just run them stealth. I mean, you've got kind of that ability with how you've ran this season. You're really quiet. You run your race. You don't seem to, contest the guys around you more than you need to anyway. And that's really been your niche to get this yellow banner on this car. You've just been able to run the racetracks and not the guys around you too hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a time you have to defend and really, pinch down and give the other guys trouble. But I think, on a longer run, we got to save your stuff. So it doesn't make sense because everybody's so close on fresh tires that it's really hard to pass then. It's a little easier to pass when everyone's all spread out on different paces.
Well, Ryan, different paces, different races. We've still got a lot to go here. We've got an off week, and then we go on to Iowa. I know that you kind of favor that racetrack over this one. And, kind of a short track racer, I would say, for the 71. What's in store for us in 2 weeks?
I don't know. Iowa's the one. It's tricky for me. I'm not sure how well I'll do there, but we'll give it a shot.
Kind of disappointed there, Ryan. I thought maybe you would tell us that we're going for victory lane. I think right now this is where you got to be. That mindset. The 71 car is on the podium, third place finish here at Michigan, and you're starting off the chase just right. Anybody want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank going to a race on this Saturday, the Waterford Hills Road Course. I want to thank the volunteers and the officials for donating their time so we can have fun racing.
There you go. He'll be in real life racing, I do believe. And shout out one more time. What was that racetrack?
Waterford Hills Road Course.
Well, there you go. So we'll be turning left and right. Ryan Carwile, appreciate your time. Hope to see you back in 2 weeks' time. And, don't make it too expensive there when you go road course racing this weekend. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
It's number 71, third place finisher here from Michigan, and we're looking for our second place finisher, Bailey Turner. Connor Horn has caught up with him.
I do have Bailey Turner with me. Bailey, you didn't lose too much of your points lead, if any of it. Obviously, it's one of maybe the craziest finish of all. 15-lap run of the end. Take us through your point of view of that final restart, that final run, and how you felt you were raced.
Yeah, that was definitely a frustrating sequence of events. I knew I had multiple restarts in a row. We had teammates lined up there, and obviously they were going to help each other. We would all do the same thing, in their position. And Jeff, I think his pit stall being so early into pit road allowed his rolling time to be better. So he just would constantly pick up 1 or 2 spots each time he was on pit road. So definitely frustrating there. And then, that last run just, I don't know how else to describe it than just a few, honestly, in my opinion, kind of low IQ moves. I feel like, if you're on the outside here, generally, if you have somebody's right rear and you're on the outside, like the help should come to you most likely, because that's where the next guy would be in the best advantageous position to get to the next spot. But seemed like the 50 car had something else in mind. So that was frustrating. And then just getting beat around outside, inside, trying to maintain what I could and really fight for that lead, and just wasn't able to hold Chad off once Reggie gave him a big shove and knocked me into the corner and almost wrecked me. So definitely frustrating. I feel like I've generally, for the most part, raced everybody pretty clean. So just frustrated with pretty much how I was raced. And I'll just remember that going forward. It feels like a few times this season been taken advantage of, and I'm just going to keep that in mind.
Remember that going forward. I got 2 other questions for you. First one is, were you surprised that it seemed like no one was pushing you and everyone was going around you? Were you surprised by how on an island you were? And also the second question was, how did you like the racing when it did go green? Because we saw the heck of a battle you had with Jeff.
Yeah, I already forgot your first question because I thought about how fun that that battle with Jeff was. But just being on an island, like you said, just some lower IQ moves. I feel like if I was behind me right there, my best shot to get to another spot would have been to push the car on the outside and then just get to that guy's right rear on exit. But so just glad we got up to P2 and maintained that. I felt like I was digging hard and almost wrecked myself off Carlisle's bumper, so I appreciate him kind of backing off and letting me save that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, such fun racing there in the middle of the race with Jeff. You know, when it was just him and I, I don't know how many laps it was. It felt like 10 to 15 laps side by side, just back and forth, back and forth. And, that's what makes Michigan, honestly, such a fun place to go. It's kind of like Auto Club in that way, but almost a little racier at times. And yeah, the car honestly was it was fun to drive. A little tight when the tires wore out, but also wrecking loose on exit if you pushed it. So it made it made a fun race. Just yeah, I wish we could have kept it green there and not gotten some of those stupid cautions. That second one where Angelo got spun, I had the lead and felt pretty confident with how the car was handling and how I did with the tires when I caught Jeff. And like you and I had already talked about, I kind of money shifted once or twice on accident just because when the tires wore, you didn't really have to shift to fifth going into turn 3 and just out of habit downshifting. So I definitely cost myself some time there throughout the race. So definitely some things to clean up, but on a bad day, still finishing P2 is pretty good. So we'll just keep going forward and just wish we never had points reset.
Yeah, definitely keep going forward. And, unofficially, the points lead, while Chad Klinger did get the second, your points lead did grow by 3 points to 25 and had some action. And you also had some drama. But, P2 finish, all in all, not too bad. Anyone else you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, obviously, congrats to Chad over there. I mean, he obviously made the right call. I think he got tires, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so he definitely made a good call there, especially with how hard we were all battling and being stupid up front. So good to him. Happy for him. Obviously, thanks to you guys up there in the booth. Teammates over there feel bad. I feel like, for some reason we decided to want to stay out on old tires and cause wrecks multiple times this season, and that unfortunately caught AJ up and Angelo a little bit, and so feel bad for the guys on the team that got taken out tonight. But yeah, shout out to those guys. Shout out to all the sponsors that make this thing go. Appreciate everybody's support every Saturday night.
Bailey Turner, still after race 1 of the chase, the only points leader of the season. Bailey, thanks for talking to us. See you in 2 weeks' time.
Appreciate it.
That's an interesting statistic that you just dropped on me there, Connor.
Only points leader.
Only points leader of the season.
One Daytona, he hasn't looked back yet.
That is surreal to me, and
that's something that's something that happens full points format, not exactly chase format.
Yeah, that's shouting back to like 1987 NASCAR. It just doesn't happen anymore. So for Bailey Turner, frustrated obviously, and I know he probably misspoke. He said IQ. He's probably mentioning racing IQ. It's not directly related to any of these guys. Not to be it's awful, but when you have a scenario at hand like that where you get used up and you have a good car and you get thrown into a late race restart like that, you're going to get frustrated. But to salvage the day like he did on tires that are much older than some of the guys around him, he had a lot of guys that came down and got 4 fresh ones with 15 to go. It's going to be chaos anyway you shake it, and everybody's going for the win here. It's the first race of the chase. So, Bailey, I guess I'm kind of speaking for him here indirectly, but very frustrated to say the least. But that does bring us to victory lane, where we have the 09 of Chad Klinger. He has found his way in the first race of the chase. And I got to say, from 21st to 1st is quite the feat in 15 laps. But that Sherwin-Williams got the damage repaired, and you found your way to victory lane, Chad. Shout out to you in that drive. You were smart about it, every single position.
I would say smart sometimes. Still made some mistakes out there today. But overall, yeah, it was a great last 10 laps, that's for sure. It was a rocket out there on those I think it was 3-lap newer tires, these green flag laps. I had to be aggressive getting up there. Once I got up to the lead, I was a little too aggressive and kind of roughed up Bailey a little bit. But I had to go out there and try and get it. I know how fast he is, and it's really hard to pass with this car, so I had to get it while I was good.
Oh, and we came into this race, you were up in the top 3 to start this thing out. We had kind of talked briefly there with the 35 of Banks, and we would like to ask your perspective, not to take anything from this win, but your point of view there on what happened at the beginning of this race, contrary to the finish.
I honestly haven't looked at it in sim yet to actually know what happened. I did go back and look at the broadcast, and it just looked like it didn't turn in as soon as Banks did. I just kind of went straight. So it's on me. Of course, it's always on me. I'm always wrecking somebody each week, right? I'm just, I guess I have to be more aggressive in this car, and I can't dial it back enough, so I get a little too close sometimes, and that just happens. So sorry to Banks. I don't ever want to wreck anybody in here, but that's just how it is, I guess, for me.
Well, the aggression level was just the right amount there, and coming up through that field to get that final restart perfected, you passed 20 cars to come home victorious in 15 laps. Chad Klinger, congratulations. Is there anybody that comes to mind that put this car in victory lane?
I just want to thank this league and all the admins, Reggie, Jeff, myself, and Brian. All our sponsors, Clark Print Shop, VSPEED, you guys, of course, in the booth, Juicy Spider, Joshua Banks over at M&J Distributors, Walking and Rolling Costumes, Rob Denton with his RSR Driver Cam every week, and then FireStorm Racing. They always contribute a lot to this league. It's good to have them on board. But couldn't really do this without them and you guys. It's a great league to have, and we can't wait to race next week.
2 weeks' time, we'll be going to Iowa Speedway. Chad Klinger, I know that's similar to Richmond, and you do quite well there. Looking forward to seeing what you can pull off at that short track style racing. Is kind of that in between the intermediate with 7/8 of a mile. But Chad, we appreciate you coming down here or up here into the booth and coming down to race with these guys and do what you do. And also, over there doing the track officiating at the Challenger Series. I know it's a tough job to do that, and you've been a human punching bag for the last 15 weeks. So we thank you for that as well.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, hopefully we can dial it back a little bit. Of course, with this car, you can't really do that, but I'll try and be a little more cautious next time. But thank you guys very much, and you guys have a good rest of your night.
Chad Klinger victorious here at Michigan, chase race number 1. So there you have it, Connor. It was another fantastic race, and I know that the execution for me on some of these parts, just trying to keep up with the action, we hit replay buttons that trying to go back and rewind. We had so many things that happened here tonight that didn't bring out a yellow. It just it was hard to keep up with all the action on this wide racetrack.
Yeah, once we got the green flag running, I mean, we saw really good action. It was probably a 10-15 lap battle for the race lead between Jeff Wright and Bailey Turner. They got side by side on lap 50. They didn't stop battling side by side until lap 60 or so. But once the yellows fell, it kind of allowed the track to maybe cool off a little more. It was kind of closer to the 130 range, and it kind of allowed for the racing to get a little bit more compact, more like a super speedway would be at Daytona or Talladega. And at that point, it was, all bets are off, and everyone was going for it. 24 and 48 were up there. Josh Adams threatened for the lead for a little while there. We saw Lakatos on the final restart get there, but at the end of the day, surprising to me, it came down to strategy. I really did not think 4-lap pressure tires would make the difference, but Chad Klinger just wasn't racing as hard as those guys were on their older tires, and it played perfectly into his hands and got a little rough and rowdy, but he comes home the victor. He closed his gap to Bailey Turner, but overall, Bailey Turner unofficially extended his lead to 25 points, and you think that was crazy. We go on a little bit of a break for Memorial Day weekend, so no Saturday Night Racing League next week, but 2 weeks' time, the top series goes to Iowa, while the Challenger Series is going to go to Richmond for some short track action.
That will be chase race number 2 for the Saturday Night Racing League Challenger Series. You can catch that May 31st at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the follow-up at 10 p.m. Eastern Time as we go to Iowa for chase race number 2 of the Cup Series presented by M&J Distributors. But with that in mind, it's another week here to sign off on VSPEED. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have live action almost every single day of the week right now. Plenty of oval racing and some road course racing on VSPEED. But for everybody that made this possible, Adam Baker in the background making this thing look as good as it does, my co-host Connor Horn, my other producers Logan Threlkel, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, Christian Hill, and Lucas Lyons. It's Bradley Cooper saying so long from Michigan. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Saturday Night Racing League. Until then, stay tracking.